multi-step problems that involve decimals. Lydia is saving money for her vacation. So far she has $82.50. Each week she sets aside 25% of her paycheck for the vacation. After 8 weeks, Lydia has $338.50 saved for vacation. What is the amount of Lydia's weekly paycheck? Well, let's model it. You can use arithmetic to solve a multi-step problem that involves decimals. So the total amount that she has saved is $338.50. That was given. Amount already saved is $82.50. So the amount she saved from the 8 paychecks, you take the total amount that she has minus the $82.50 that she's already saved, and now she has $256 that she made or saved over the 8 weeks. An amount she saved each week, so you take the 256 divided by 8, because that's 8 weeks, and it looks like she saved $32 a week. Now think about that. How much? It says, what is the amount of Lydia's weekly paycheck? Well, the amount of weekly paycheck, 25% is 1/4, right? 25% is 1/4. So Lydia's weekly paycheck is 4 times 32, or $128. Let's model it this way. You can write an equation to help solve multi-step problems that involve decimals. So the amount already saved is $82.50 plus the number of weeks saving each week. So it's 8 weeks times the 0.25. That's 25% of paycheck, and we don't know how much she made, because that's what we're looking for, equals $338.50. So now we created the equation. We combined all this, we get 82.5, which is the same as $82.50, plus the 8 times the 25%, 0.25, times the amount of money she gets each week. Okay, and her total right now is $338. So now you need to simplify it. So what they did was they did the 8 times 0.25x, and you get 2x. And now you do 82.5 plus 2x equals $338.50. So 338.5. Now you can solve it both 2 ways. We can use flowcharts or traditional. Let's do the traditional first. I'm going to subtract 82.5 from both sides of the equation. Remember, you want to get the variable by itself, and it's the inverse of order of operations. Okay, get the constant out of the way first. Remember, when you subtract or add decimals, you line up the decimal points. 82.5 minus 82.5 is 0, so we're left with 2x on the left side of the equation. 338.5 minus 82.5, you get 256. And now 2 times what equals 256? So I'm going to divide by 2 to get x by itself. Divide by 2. Inverse operation of multiplication is division. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so we're left with 1x. And 256 divided by 2 is 128. So Lydia makes, looks like $128 per week. If we can do this, I'm going to leave that up there, and solve this as a flow chart. Here's what we got. So we're looking for x, right, after we simplified it. You can even do a flow chart here, x times 0.25 times 8, etc. But we want to always simplify, so x equals, okay, what happens to x first? Times 2, then plus 82.5, output 338, oh, let me make that a little bit bigger, 338.5. And then we solve it by backtracking. minus 82.5. And then you have 256. And then 256 divided by 2, you'll get 128. Let's connect it all and see what we got, even though I showed you a lot of the work. Now you'll solve the equation for the problem on the previous page. What can you do to get 2x alone on the left side of the equation? We already did that, so if you want, you can go back and check it out. But let's see if you can do this on your own. Fill the blanks to show how, and then simplify. Question 10. What can you do to get the x alone on the left side of the equation? Fill in the blanks to show how, and then simplify. Compare the arithmetic solution to solving with the equation. How are the methods similar? How are they different? And then question 12. Describe how to solve an equation with 2 or more steps. So again, I would pause this video. I would solve these questions, and then when you're ready to check your answers, unpause, and then you can check the answers. And let's look at this. Question 9, if you got 82.5 minus 82.5, obviously we did that. You do it on both sides of the equation, and then you have 2x equals 256. Okay, question 10. After that, you're going to divide by, to get the x by itself, 2. And then you do whatever you do on one side of the equation, you do to the next. And then when you solve it, x equals 128. Let's look at question 11 if you got something similar to this. Okay, one of the possible answer. The computation for both methods is also almost the same. First subtract, then divide. The arithmetic solution finds the amount saved each week and then calculates the weekly check amount. The equation leads straight to finding the weekly check amount. You can go back to previous this video and you can see that. Okay? Which is in this page right here. Okay? So you can pause it and read it carefully. And then number 12, describe how to solve an equation with 2 or more steps. Well, another possible answer. To solve an equation, you must get the variable alone on one side of the equation. To do this, you perform the same computation on both sides of the equation. Use inverse operations to undo the operations in the expression that has the variable. Okay? You can also use flowchart, but technically when you go into 8th grade, you should not, or you will not be using flowcharts, because the variable will be on both sides of the equation. Now there's 2 questions here. We want you to try them. Use what you just learned to solve these problems. Show your work on a separate sheet of paper. So pause this video again, and then once you solve them and you're ready to check your answers, unpause and you'll have the answer. Number 13 says solve. Show how each step to solve, it looks like 600ths times x minus 1800ths equals 1200ths. And then 14, solve, show each step. 5 4/10 minus 6x equals negative 6. Remember, you want to get the variable by itself to solve the equations. And you can use it, again, either flowchart or the traditional way. And now let's check your answers. If you got x equals 5, for number 13, you are correct. Let's break this down. Let's help on this one. Okay, let me take it down. Sorry. Alright, so they did the traditional way here. Let's go over that. They took away, it says negative 0.18 or 1800ths, so they added 1800ths to both sides of the equation. Whatever they do to one side, they have to do to the other side. And the reason you add is because it's negative 1800ths. So now you're left with 600ths. X equals 1200ths plus 1800ths is actually 0.3 or 30 hundredths or 3/10, right? You can have a 0 here. It's the same as 0.3, and that's what they wrote. And then the next thing you need to do is divide by 600ths on both sides of the equation, and then you would get an answer of 5. If you forgot how to divide decimals, go back to previous videos and you can check that out. Okay, you can also look at the personal tutor. Let's do this as a flow chart, just real quick. We're looking for x, so x equals what happens to x first times 0.06 or 600ths, and then minus 0.18 or 1800ths, and output is 1200ths. Okay, and then to solve this, you backtrack. You can see you're going to add 0.18, and you get 0.3 or 0.30. I'll put 30 right now. It's going to be the same. And then you divide by 0.06, and you will get an answer as 5. So hopefully you guys got that. Again, if you're stuck on this, go back. You can also check your work with calculators. When you have the answer, it's always important to check your work by plugging in 5 on x, and then when you multiply 0.06 times 5 minus 0.18, you should get 0.12. And let's look at question 14. Hopefully you got x equals 1.9. Again, they did it the traditional way. So the first thing you need to do is take away 5.4. You don't add. Remember, this is negative 6x. This is positive 5.4. So I'm going to add 5.4. I'm sorry, subtract 5. This is positive 5.4. So I'm going to subtract 5.4 on both sides of the of the equation. We'll get to inequality soon. And then this will be 0, and then we're left with negative 6x. Negative 6 minus 5.4 will give us negative 11.4. If you don't remember how to solve integers, you should go back to previous videos, or you can go to your personal tutor. And then you got negative 6 times x equals negative 11.4, so you can divide by negative 6 like they did here. Whatever you do to one side of the equation, you have to do to the other side. Negative divided by negative is positive. 11.4 divided by 6 will give us 1.9. And let's show it with flowcharts. We're looking for x equals, what happens to x first? It's multiplied by negative 6. So by negative 6, right? And then added, because we will look to the left of the term, at 5.4. And then output is negative 6. Okay? And then backtrack to solve it. Choose a different color, so I'm going to subtract 5.4. And then I get negative 11.4. And then I'm going to divide by negative 6. Negative divided by negative is positive. 11.4 divided by 6 is 1.9. Again, if you're still confused or need more help, I would replay these videos, and then hopefully you'll understand it.